Hi, good day everyone. So today we are going to be doing January 2023 number 5. And these number 5s are usually statistic questions, right? So let's start the question. The cumulative frequency curve below shows information about the time taken by 200 students. So please note that your total number of students is 200. So let's underline what is the most important. To solve a mathematics Olympiad problem. And they give you the time and the cumulative frequency. Now, using the cumulative frequency curve, show above and find an estimate for the number of students who took more than 50 minutes. Now, if we look at our axis, right, we will see it as the minutes. We are going to use this x-axis, draw straight up. Okay, so what you're going to do for this question is you're going to take the graph, right? You're going to look for 50 minutes, and then you're going to take your ruler and put your ruler on 50, right? And you're going to draw a line going straight up, and where it meets this cumulative curve, which is this black little curve that we are seeing, you're going to stop. So if we look, I'm going to zoom in so you guys could see. If you look, my blue line stopped at that area right here. So you're going to draw a line going across at where it intersects the curve. So you're going to draw a line connecting this next blue line going straight across, and that the cumulative frequency answer for that is equal to, now if we look, let's find out how many is one space. So from 0, look back at this, right? We're going to find out how much is one space. From 5 spaces is equal, from 0 is 20, right? So one space would be equal to 20 divided by 5, which is equal to 4, right? So, and if we look at let's go back at this graph here. Each little space is 4. So this is right here is 48. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fours are 16. So from 180 to the line is 16. So 180 plus 16. So that line actually is 196. So our answer for the first one here, where they ask you for the number of students who took more than 50 minutes to solve a problem, using our graph would be 196 students. Right? Let me just show this here. Right, so this black line that we're seeing here is 196. Right, so that's how we would get the first answer. Now they ask you to find the median time taken to solve the problem. Now, in a cumulative curve, right, if they give you a range, because these here are ranges, okay? Our median would be, median is equal to n plus 1 all divided by 2, where n is equal to your total. And we already from the beginning, we said that n, or our total, was 120. So, not 120, sorry, was 200, right? So n is 200. So you're going to say when n was 200, so that's 200 plus 1 all divided by 2 is equal to 100.5. And then they ask you the time taken. Now what we're talking about here is students. So to find the time taken, we're going to use our graph where 100.5 is. So we're going to use our graph here. We're going to look for when the students was 100.5. Draw the line straight across, coming down, and then we'll see how many times. So let's do it one time. Right, so this is the graph. 100.5, we know one of these tiny little spaces is actually 2. So 100.5 would be a little above the 100 line. So if we insert, right, draw a shape, So you're going to go a little above 100, not too much. You're going to go straight across. And where that line intersects our curve is where, and then you're going to go down. So this is the line there. So if we look at this line, when your cumulative frequency was 100.5, the time taken is, now we see that one of these little tiny squares from 0 to 10 is 10 spaces. So one of these tiny squares is actually 1. So this is 31, 32, and 33. Right? Let's just hold on, guys. Let me just do this properly. Insert. It's right here, which is actually 33. 1, 2, 3. So from our graph that we just now did, the answer for this when your cumulative curve is 100.5, your time taken would be 33 minutes. Right? So time taken is equals to 33 minutes. Right? Now, the next question is probability that a student chosen at random took at most 28 minutes to solve the problem. So the formula, this is a formula that you need to learn. Probability is equal to your desired outcome. Your desired outcome in this case is equal to whatever 28 minutes is equal to, right? We're talking about students, so this would be students divided by your total students. So your total students or total outcome is 200. And when we use our graph, we will see how many students is 28 minutes. Right? On our graph, we're going to look for 28. 28 is supposed to be right here because, not right here, sorry. 28 should be this area right here. So let me just draw a line. So from here, this is 28. Hold on, is that 28? No, it is not. 28. Remember, each one of these small spaces is 1. So 21 to this big line will be 25, 26, 27, 28. So 28 is actually here. So let me draw a line. Right? Insert. Right, so my line is going to be drawn here. Right here. So I'm going to draw a line up where it crosses the curve. Then you're going to go across to your cumulative. Right? Okay, so 28 is actually, right? So 28 would actually be right here, 2 blocks away from 30, right? So you're going to draw straight up. And again, where it crossed the cumulative curve, you're going to draw a line straight across. So you're going to draw a line straight across, right? That is here. Right? And that should be 64. Right, so 62, and then we have it on the next line actually, that is 64. So when the time is 28, the number of students would be 64. So let us now go back to our document. So we know that the desired outcome, so number of students would be 64. So it's 64 divided by 200. You use a calculator. If you don't get a flat answer like this, if you divide 64 divided by 200, and you get like a whole set of decimals, do not put it into decimal place, please put it as a fraction. But if how we divide this and we got a flat 0.32, I will leave this as the answer. So my answer for this would be 0.32 as my probability for students that chose at random 28 minutes. So for this question, when you see a table like this, right, and then you see them asking using the cumulative frequency curve on page 13, that is the page before, right, or the graph, complete the table below. When you see, so for this part B, you add two sections, your upper class boundary and your cumulative frequency. I just put CF, right? So your upper class boundary from 1 to 10 would be 10 plus 11 all divided by 2, which is equals to 10.5. Right, the next one here would be 20 plus 21 all divided by 2, which is 21.5. Right, this one would be 30 plus 31 all divided by 2 is 31.5. This one is 40 plus 41 all divided by 2 is equals to 41.5. Right, this one is 50 plus 51 all divided by 2 is 50.5. And then this one would be 60 plus, well, it would have been 61 all divided by 2 is equals to 60.5. Right, and these values that you get for your upper class boundary, this is what you're going to use to get your cumulative frequency. So when they give you a range like this, you take your highest value, which is 10, you add it to the next value in the next section. So 10 plus 11, and then you divide it by 2. You see 20 plus 21 divided by 2, 30 plus 31 divided by 2, 40 plus 41 divided by 2, 50 plus 51 divided by 2, and then it would have been 60 plus 61 divided by 2, which is 60.5. All right, so then we're going to take our cumulative, you're going to use the graph to get these values. Right, so when we use our graph, right, and we drew at 10.5 and went across, we saw that on your y-axis, that is 12. So when your time was 10.5, my cumulative frequency was 12. So we're going to put that in our graph. So we're going to put the cumulative frequency is 12. Then we're going to do for 20.5, 20.5, 30.5, 40.5. Right, so I'm going to just stick to my graph. So at 20.5, right, so you're going to use your ruler. You're going straight up at 20.5 is between the here and here, and then you're going to go across. That is equal to 34. Right, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, between 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 16. So 20 plus 16 is 36. This is 1, 2, 3. Sorry, it is 3. That's 12, and in between here, right? Because it's not exactly at 36. Right, it's between 36 and 38, that is 34. So here right now is 34. So we know here would be 34. Then when your upper class boundary is 30.5, let's go there. When it is 30.5, let's draw. 30.5 would be here. You're going to draw straight up. Right. Then you're going to go across. This is not exactly 70. This is not exactly 80. This is actually 76 because it is a block down. So this is 80 minus 4 because it was a block away from 80. So that's 80 minus 4 is 76. So that's how you got 76 for this one here. Then this one is 40.5. 40.5, let's go to the graph. 40.5 would be in between here and here. So you go straight up. And then when we go across, this is actually a solid line, which is 160. So you know that your cumulative frequency at 40.5 is 160. Right, and then we're going to find out for 50.5. We don't need to find for 60.5. Just 50.5. Going to use our graph. For 50.5, we're going to draw a line. Let's bring this down so we can see. Right? 50.5 is in between here. We're going to go straight up. Right? And we actually see it line up with one of the lines that we have there. So I will make this a different color so you guys can see it properly. Actually, I should right, so the line that I'm going to draw, the next line I'm going to draw would be a dotted line. It is actually on the same line that we drew first. So let's just put the effects here. The dotted line and make it yellow. Not yellow, orange. Right, so we can all see that orange line, and we already have a blue line there before, so we didn't really need to check it. We know that is 196. So let us put that in our graph here, in our table, sorry. 196. Now, the reason that we are doing this is to find our frequency. So let me just, so before this would have been 0. It started at 0. So to find my frequency would have been 12 minus my cumulative, which is equals to 12, right? Which is the one before. This value here would be my cumulative frequency before, which was 12, minus my cumulative frequency for 20.5, which is 34. Well, let me just say 12 minus 34. 34 minus 12, which is equal to 22. So 22 for this one. Then this would have been, to check it to make sure, 76 minus 34 is actually 42. This one here was 160 minus my cumulative frequency before, which was 76. 160 minus 76 is 84. This one would be 196 minus the previous cumulative frequency, which is 160, which is equal to 36. Right, so the ones that are missing is actually 22 and 36. And how we find that is by subtracting the cumulative frequency for that line minus the previous cumulative frequency. So it would have been 34 minus 12 would give you 22. And then for this one would have been, it's 160 for 40.5 minus the previous cumulative frequency, which is 76, you'll get 84. And then this one that you see me underline is 36 would have been 196, which is the cumulative frequency for 50.5 minus the previous cumulative frequency, which is 160, which is equals to 36. So that is how you find out your frequency. And then this section here, they told you it is f of x. Now, f of x is a frequency, which is what we found out, multiplied by x, which is your midpoint. Right, so therefore, to find this part, it would have been my frequency, which is 22 multiplied by 15.5. Use your calculator. When you multiply this, you're going to get 341. This next one would have been 36 multiplied by 45.5, right, which is equal to 1,638. right? And those are your f of x values that are missing. Right, now next thing that you have to do, you see the leave a space, is to find the total. The total number of frequencies should give you, when you add up all your frequencies, it should give you your total number of students, which is, if you add them up, you're going to get 200. This is this sign here, guys, where you see me write that is total, right, of f, right? So your total of f, meaning you add up all your f values, you're going to get 200. So 12 plus 22 plus 42 plus 84 plus 36 plus 4 is equal to 200. And then you have to find out your total for your f of x. So your total for f of x is 66 plus 341 plus 1071 plus 2982 plus 7. This is 7,000, right? No, 1,638 plus 222, all the values that you have here. When you add that up, you're going to get 6,320. So my total for f of x would be 6,320, and my total for f is 200. All right, and this would be if they ask you to find the average. What they do in part 2, they said use the information in the completed table above to calculate the estimate of the average time. Now average, guys, when they ask you average, we know average time or time on our x-axis is actually equal to time, right? Time is on our x-axis. So when they ask you for the average time, that would be, average would be, you have a line on top, x. So your average of x is equal to the total or the summation of f of x. This is a formula you need to remember, divided by the summation of f, right? Which is 6,320 divided by 200, which is equal to 31.6 minutes. And that is how you get this answer. Right? And that would be the end of January 2023.